Hey everyone, Böker Wasabi review time. This is the Böker Plus Wasabi designed by Kansei Matsuno. This was £51.95 in this configuration from Heine Haynes. You can get these pretty much anywhere. It's Böker Plus, they're widely available. There are 3 versions that I know of. There's the G10 version that's about £10 cheaper than this in Coca-Cola wood, and for about £5 more you can get the carbon fibre version. Otherwise they're all the same, it's just a scale change on top of these liners. You get this nice professional box that it comes in, very simple but looks nice. Inside that you get German warranty information with English on the other side, and you get silica gel and your little disassembly tool, which is nice. This is made by Böker Plus, which is Böker's mid-range line. You'll find this is their super budget option. Make some great knives, some petrol station ones as well. This is their mid-range knives, so things like this that aren't too expensive but still good quality. And then this is their like premium line, just all their usually more expensive ones. So this is the knife. Obviously you can see it's very easy to open. This is an acquired talent. You don't, or at least I personally wasn't able to just do this straight away. I had to practice at least a little bit to find what kind of grip I needed to hold it in. But once you've got it down, it becomes nice and easy. Of course, there aren't always situations where you're going to be wanting to flick a knife out in public. So for those, you can also, of course, just use your thumb and very calmly and gently open that. This runs on ball bearing washers and has just standard Torx hardware, T8, 2 T6s, and of course, as I said, you get the tool to disassemble that included in the box. This has your nice little liners there and your choice of material on top, with a lanyard hole at the bottom there, which is nice. Although I usually use a lanyard to pull whatever I'm using out of my pocket. This is at odds with the clips, and the clip is non-movable. It's tip down, right hand carry only. So I'd have maybe had the tip up carry if I was going to have the lanyard at that end, but I guess that's just me. I just don't see the point in a lanyard hole if you're going to put the clip at the other end. But oh well. You also have a spacer by that lanyard hole. Otherwise it's completely open back and nice and see-through there. There we go. As for that pocket clip, in your pocket it will look something like that, with 440C visible on the top there. I found this carries great in a pen pocket, and this works lovely for that. No one questions it. It's thin enough to look almost like a pen, at least maybe like a vape or something weird, but it certainly doesn't look like a knife in the pocket, unless of course you know what 440C is, and then you're going to cotton on pretty quickly. But either way, it's fine. You have some aggressive jimping all the way around to there, and that's of course so that you can grip it to flick it. And that jimping continues to here so that you can put your thumb on top and try and stop this from closing. Now that's a small issue there, because where this is a detent ball system, it also means it's pathetically weak. So there's jimping on the top of there, so you can try and keep it open. I don't know if it's just me or if it's the way you grip this. That doesn't seem to work that well for me. But, you know, as long as you're not using this for anything crazy, that shouldn't be an issue. And I certainly wouldn't use a non-locking knife for anything crazy anyway. I mean, my philosophy would be, if you're doing something that might maybe break through it, I'd just use a fixed blade anyway. But for my purposes, I certainly don't do anything anywhere close to that. You know, just opening packages, that kind of stuff. There's nothing that's ever going to really get through that. But just something to note. Also, you don't get a sharpening or a finger choil on this. It's just straight to blade. However, if you are worried about that closing on you, you may have noticed that you do get, just because of the design, a little bit of just where the lock, the stop pin, like, inserts into there, that's just enough to stop the knife from actually cutting your finger. So it's not terrible. It does, I mean, it's not a finger choil and it does pinch you, but it's not, it's a hell of a lot better than this cutting you, and this is razor sharp out of the box. It's really, really nice. Takes a very good edge, this. So the fit and finish overall, for me, it's okay. I mean, the centering's not great, and there's just a tiny amount of blade play, just the smallest amount, and I found that's common with dual detent ball systems, because because it's 2 balls on the end of arms, you can always move the arms off of the pivot here, so that the 2 arms are here. I'll do a disassembly in a minute and I'll show you what I mean, but there's 2 arms that hold this in, and you can always just push them a little bit either way, and that always results. I've never found a dual detent ball system that doesn't have a little bit of blade play. It's nothing crazy, but it's, if you're really particular about it, it's slightly there. So this is made out of 440C. There we go. Which is, again, on this, it seems fantastic. I've just been stropping this one. It strops easily enough, and it's been absolutely razor sharp, this thing. It's really, really nice edge on this one. You have a few things on this. You have Böker Plus. You have Kansei Matsuno, who's a Japanese designer that mostly deals with friction folders and flippers, and they will pretty much look something like this. Who'd have thought it? And you also get there a individual serial number. That sort of very much reminds me of one of these, which also have your individual serial number there, 3600 on this 0460. And that's always nice. It's just, you know, it doesn't cost a lot. It's just a bit of individuality to each knife. I like that very much. Just gives it a nice, you know. Okay, so stats are going to be on the screen now for you. And here's a couple of comparisons. There's your UK PK. And I suppose I'll put it up here so it's easy to compare. The Victorinox Tourist, which is just a standard size Victorinox. From the locking side of things, let's do there. That's the Wrap Model 1 and the Benchmade 940, and oh hell, we've got it. Not that it really is a good comparison, but the Zero Tolerance 0460. So I'm going to cut to a disassembly of this knife now. Okay, so you get these teeny tiny little bearings. Because you can move this that way, and you've got it on the other side as well, because you can move them, and that's what holds this back part of the blade, I have always found on all of these that there's at least a smidgen of blade play if you want free movement of that blade. And this is, as you can see there, a captive pivot, which is fantastic, because although, another thing, why put a tool, although it's under this clip so you'll never use it, why put a tool on a captive pivot? So now that that's all back together, just summarise this quickly. So first, I guess I'll go over the things I don't like about this. So I don't like it leaves a mark there for some reason on both sides. I think that's got something to do with the lockup. But yeah, it's unmistakably, I've not really hit anything against that. But just that little area there seems to get tarnished, so not the best. I don't like the grip on this very much. The handle is in an awkward place. The clip, the pocket clip is in an awkward place. Doesn't feel great. And obviously I don't like that it's non-movable either. I don't like that it's tipped down only, although that does make sense for a pocket clip. The lanyard hole makes no sense to me though. But also, if your hands are wet, good luck doing that. My fingers just slip off this pocket clip because that's all you've got to grip on, because it's such a slender thing. it feels a little bit delicate. Now, it looks very nice, but if the looks come at the cost of how it feels, that's not so great to me. The fit and finish, it's alright. I mean, it's only £50, but I'm just going to point out everything I've noticed here. So you can see there's, on this side, that's beautiful, perfect, like absolutely wonderful. What happened? What happened to that bit of Cocobolo? Is that normal for Cocobolo? Because it doesn't look like it is. This, if they'd had this on both sides, I wouldn't have had anything bad to say about this. But what, did it get dried out too much or something like that? Don't know that I like that either. Anything else? I don't know. I guess I'm fine with that. What I do very much like about this knife, and I do quite like it, I do really like the action. I've always been a fan of free flicky knives. Like, I wish we could carry stuff like that in England. Like, that's awesome to me. Things like, you know, just the old 940 would be lovely. But then I probably wouldn't even be on YouTube if we were allowed to carry stuff like this. I'd just buy the things. There's plenty of channels that do, you know, cool locking knives like this. There weren't so many that were doing exclusively UK legal ones, which is basically why I exist on YouTube anyway. But yeah, so I'm very much a fan of quick actions. Even though they look very aggressive, you can always, like I said, just slowly. I like the styling. I'm not a super Japanese aficionado, but I do quite like some things from Japan. Like, I certainly like the samurai aesthetic you're getting here. It looks very elegant, very slick, very much like a, I guess like a cut down samurai sword maybe, even though the handle's way off for that. But, you know, it looks distinctly Japanese, and the knife market arguably is pretty saturated with some similar designs at the moment. Don't get me wrong, all the big manufacturers are popping out their own stuff, but you're getting a lot of, you know, in the middle, just this looks the same, this looks another flipper, this. This is pretty distinct, pretty much its own thing. So I very much like the aesthetic there. I like that it's Torx bits and not anything crazy. Although, you know, I'm not against custom pivots at all, but the Hindra pivot's a bit stupid. You know, it just, like others have said this before, but it just seems like it's an exercise in selling you another tool. Whereas this one, they bloody give you the tool, and it's only £51 or £52 for this. I mean, you can get it a lot cheaper, like £10 cheaper, but you're getting the tool either way. It's fantastic. You cannot argue with it. So the hardware's great. Weird that they've got the hardware socket on that side though. I just, you know, when it's a captive pivot, that's odd to me. But yeah, like I said, carrying that in your pen pocket, you can just quickly pull it out, boom, use it, put it away again. This is a fast little knife if you're, you know, comfortable with getting the flick out. But yeah, I've been using this at work. People have been impressed by it or bewildered, but either way, you know, it's left an impression. I'm happy to recommend this if, like, on my recommendation, if you wanna buy one of these, they're great. Just keep in mind, it's not the most robust of knives, or it certainly doesn't feel like it. I've not put it anywhere near to the test of its limits. That's not what I'm about. If you want to go and do hard use, I mean, DBK are starting to get into folding knives, so maybe they'll do something like that. But it doesn't feel the most robust to me. But then again, it does look like a, you know, executive knife. So either way, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Cheers.